let's go right into gold. Gold looks like a sale to me, and I'll tell you why. Mostly it's Demark, and it's also because the dollar index looks like it's trying to make a run, like it's going to really try this time. And I think the sentiment is pretty negative on the dollar too, on the dollar index for, and you might get a deeper rally than you think. So let's quickly just take a look at how this is a gold futures. So I'm sorry, this is spot. I'm sorry. So you have a 13 reading. You got some reaction, not a great reaction off of it. This is a weekly signal, the same signal as we're looking at for Ford. And then you have a 9 run up. Now that 9 run up, happened I think in some obviously when things move up, that's how sentiment goes, and people get more bullish. I believe that you're going to have a pretty significant pullback in gold off of that high. I think in the context of a wave structure that gold has probably finished a very large, let's say, monthly third wave, and that we're going to be going into a sharp fourth wave pullback, and then we're going to want to own gold again. Okay? So when I say gold is finished, I don't mean it's finished forever, but I do think, near intermediate term that it's probably done. When you look at the dollar index, you can kind of see it's creeping. Okay? You're above long range, so you have a pretty decent breakout. I think that you're probably going to get some more, which is going to coincide with, even though that the negative correlation to gold has weakened considerably over time, I think you're going to still have some correlation when this happens. If you get a significant amount of movement in the dollar, you will get a movement down in gold. The other index that nobody's really paying attention to that much, except kind of in the Demark circles, is the bond. And it just so happens, if I look at the Treasury bond futures, and we have an internal high possibly on Treasury bond futures. So remember, 13. Probability of significant movement higher, well, how low could rates go, right? Is low. If you look at the, I'm just going to look at 10-year yields real quick because that's the one I like to look at on the yield basis. So I'm looking at an inversion of bonds here. You made a lower low. I think this is a fifth wave low on a long-term basis, and I think that you have a significant. I shouldn't say significant. I think that we're making a secular low in yields. So that's my opinion on the bonds. I just want to go back to gold for 1 second because I forgot to mention one thing too. I was talking with, and by the way, on Spots on Trends, I kind of consolidate my conversations with different technicians. I'm always talking to technical analysts at the better firms, I think. One guy who went on his own is Walter Murphy. He's an Elliottician. He has been doing Elliott Wave for years, and I mean he's got to be doing it for like 40 years. One of the differences between him and let's call it that other Elliott Wave service is that he doesn't break rules and doesn't let bias get in the way. He's actually very good. One of the things that he had noted was that off of the January low, you have a 13 wave structure. So you have an ABC wave structure, 13 of them into this high. So this was your last ABC right here. So he said whenever you get 13 ABCs, yeah, you're pretty much done in that wave. So kind of interesting where you have the Fibonacci numbers coincide with, well, kind of interesting. I believe in it. It's one of those things where Elliott wave is like cigarette smoke. You can kind of see it, but you can't really grab it and hold it. It's always moving, and it's you know, a little harder to trade off of, and you use it in context with other indicators. Using it standalone, I think, is pretty impossible because you can just get blown out. Just going to mention a couple of things. First of all, for those of you who came in late, I'm representing Spotts on Trends. My name is Jeffrey Spotts, Chartered Market Technician. Although I do manage money, I have the advisory service, so I need to keep those separately, but I'm representing Spotts on Trends tonight. I may or may not have a position in any of the stocks that I had mentioned. Some of the things that we do at Spotts on Trends are live trade alerts. So we actually will shoot you something that we like. We have the rationale behind the trades, and we're working with some of the guys out of William O'Neill who work for Spotts on Trends who come up with these ideas.